Now, in my sphere as a music educator part-time, I've come up with things like the wheels to help with chord theory and scales. I've also come up with this. Now, this is a game, a mix and match game. It's based on a very famous card game where you have to match a symbol between two cards. And there's only one thing that's the same on any two cards. So what I've done here is I've made this. So there are lots of different musical things on here. For example, instrument families, marimba, strings, brass, classical composer Thomas Attwood there. We've got a chord progression, a couple of chord progressions, a chord, and then just basic things like 3 notes above E, which would be A. So 1 note's F, G, A. So that's like a keyboard spelling rather than necessarily a scale. We've got piano diagrams. There's D, F and B flat. There's a B flat major chord there. So the object of the game is to spot the similarity between these two cards before your opponent. So looking chord progression, it always begins on chord 1. So that's 1, 5, 6, 4. 1, 5, 4, 1. Oh, 1, 5, 6, 4. There we go. It's those two. There are also basic rhythms, time signatures. So that's 2, 8, for example. And I've written a little instruction manual for this as well. Things like dynamics, you know, diminuendos and crescendos. So that's loud to soft. So there might be another card where you have maybe piano to pianissimo, for example. There's some more composers here. We've got another rhythm, a keyboard here. So C, F and A. Is there, what's the same thing on here? We've got intervals as well. There's your major 7th, E to D sharp. There's a key signature of A major. There we go. E, A and C sharp. There's a chord of A major. And that matches up with your key signature. So the chords and the key signatures match. Notice Chuck Berry up here. You think, Chuck Berry and Richard Wagner on the same page. Well, Chuck Berry and W.A. Mozart are both contained within this card game, which is not such a sort of incongruous match, given that they're both on the record that is currently attached to Voyagers 1 and 2, which are just leaving our solar system as we speak. So, music's music. Jimmy Page, guitarist. There we go. Jimmy Page and Chuck Berry would match because they're both guitarists. 1 note above A is a B. Okay, so nothing else on that will match here. It's only one symbol on each card that will match. Now let's have a look. Yeah, sometimes it takes a while to find them. There's a G major there as a keyboard. We've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 bar there. 1, 2, 3, 8 bar there. There's a G sharp, A major. 3 notes above C is an E. Black note between C and D. There we go. There it is. D flat. So it also makes you realise that it could be C sharp, but you've got to think of your N harmonic equivalent. And so on and so forth. So I've done that game. I've also made a more complicated version, which is this. This really, the first game that I made, this one, is kind of a key stage 3 type game. So it's suitable for, you know, GCSE music, for example, if you're in the UK or equivalent overseas. So, you know, kids 15, 16 playing this. Now, this one is a bit more complicated. We've got all the clefs you could think of, even the archaic ones, because if you are going into advanced or doing a music degree, you're going to have to analyse all sorts of sort of old-looking scores. So we've got this. We've got an F sharp on the line there. You think, okay, well, where's the C then? F sharp, C is on the line up there. So that is going to be the C clef on the top line, which is your baritone clef. God, took me a while. So things like the minor second in C, you know, more technical names, things like chords. There's an E major of first inversion. The modes are covered here as well, and also things like 11/8 bars. You just got to basically add up this and see if it adds up to something else. Key signature in various clefs. Scale respelling, G double flat, F double sharp. I mean, it's pointless, but it gets you thinking about your double flats, your double sharps, things like N harmonic equivalents, for example. So we've got an F, a G, A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, and F. That's an F Aeolian, or it's 3 flats in F, so that's E flat major. F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, no, it's a D flat. So that's going to be A flat major. So you've got to find somewhere an A flat major. So it really does take quite a long time to look through this. Chord of the flattened 7th in G major, that's F major. Chord 6 in B major, that's G sharp minor, etc., etc. There's even these here, whereas a tempo is given with some notes. You've got to find something that would essentially take the same time, physical time to play. So this really is if you've got absolutely no mates at all and you never ever go down the pub. So there's things like transposing, so B flat instrument, for example, and you've got this, you think, well, okay, that's an alto clef, so that's going to be an E at the top there. You've got to find an E somewhere else. There's your tenor clef here, so that's an F sharp. Now, I do have the scans for all of these. If anyone would like to play this, just drop me a line to Dan Baker Musician on Facebook. And please share these videos, share on my channel. There's a sort of an instruction manual on each as well. So, for example, the instrument families, yeah, I've written a little bit about it, chords, what's featured in each game. So there it is. Now, it's based on that very famous card game, Dobble. And the reason I'm offering it for free is because if I try to sell it, I'll obviously get a lawsuit from the creators of Dobble going, no, you can't do da. And I haven't got the money to fight it. And given my fairly left-wing views, I'm quite interested in educating other people and seeing just what I can do to help them.